Some people wanted my opinion on net neutrality being repealed, and I felt that I summed it up perfectly about a week or two ago when I said in my last net neutrality video, the votes are bought and paid for. It was going to be repealed. A lot of people are shocked. I guess all those people in my personal life that thought I was a dumbass, tinfoil hat wearing motherfucker now see that the system is rigged. It's rigged like a motherfucker. Ooh, I said that twice. Ironically, WCCF Tech has posted a couple articles I found interesting. How much ISPs pay to the lawmakers who support net neutrality repeal? This is a good old-fashioned read to depress you, and also kind of shock you. Amid the controversy of commissioners ignoring American public comments in due process, the vote is scheduled to go as planned. Due process. What the fuck does it really mean anymore? I mean, for God's sakes, remember what happened to the Japanese in World War II? When they were just taken from their homes and their businesses closed and then put in an internment camp, and they completely had zero due process. America's used to pretty much taking due process whenever the government fucking feels. Due process? No, you don't get that. Get the fuck in that internment camp, you little slanty-eyed chink. Oh my. So, I don't know why anyone would be surprised that due process was ignored for net neutrality. I mean, really, this is America. If you're broke, go fuck yourself. If you're wondering why these lawmakers would decide to sell your rights to an open internet, note that Congress has accepted over $100 million in donations from telecom giants, the members of Congress, not just the Republicans. So that means also Democrats. I was trying to tell someone else earlier, I was like, listen, don't sit there and think it's all the Republicans. The Democrats have got their fingers in the money too. All of these fuckers in there need to go. You know how much America could benefit if Congress had term limits? Like, I'll be generous and say 2 terms. Give the cocksuckers 2 terms tops and then yank them the fuck out. When people can make a career basically sitting there taking money for their campaign and then, greasing the wheels towards legislation that favors big businesses, and Lord knows we've had some ridiculous fucking laws passed. If you don't believe me, look up one of the laws that passed like the past 2-3 years. The one law that gave businesses the same rights as a private citizen blew my fucking mind. If you want to look at this long list of all these assholes that took money, I mean lobbyist money, donations. It's not a bribe, it's a donation. Oh my God. It's like, it's like Twitch, except like instead of normal people giving people cash for playing a video game, it's telecom giants giving legislators money to pass bills in their favor. Mo Brooks from Alabama, he got himself $26,000 to sell us all up the river. Ron Estet, I believe, I probably said that wrong, he got $13,800. Motherfucker got less than a Bitcoin. $25,000 for Thomas Massey, I believe. Ralph Norman got $15,000 from South Carolina. Who else? Basically, these are some small numbers for the like scrub lords. The bottom feeders get like under $20,000. The big boys start clapping off into the $70,000, $100,000. You can tell how important someone is when they start getting $600,000 or $1 million. Fred Upton in Michigan got $1,590,000. At least if we're gonna sell out, at least get a cool million, huh? I mean, Jesus. But anyway, due to the myriad of people flipping shit, and I mean a lot of people are mad. I'm even seeing people that I know in my personal life that said absolutely nothing about net neutrality and shit like that for months. Nobody gave a shit. Then all of a sudden, net neutrality gets repealed. Ajipai's running around making stupid ass videos with fidget spinners thinking he's goddamn funny. This motherfucker is that dude that has no clue he's a douchebag. And we all have friends like that. That one friend that thinks he's cooler than he is, he's funnier than he is, he's hipper than he is. Meanwhile, the cocksucker's doing the Harlem Shake. That shit died 5 years ago. Good God. Why don't you fuck off, guy? I mean, really. From the bottom of my heart, there are 3 people in this world I want to fuck off hardcore. Darkside Phil, I want you to fuck off. One-san, I really want you to fuck off. And Ajipai, you can fuck off too. Fuck nuts. Oh, Todd Howard can fuck off. And Pete Hines. And anyway, after net neutrality was rolled back, California, Massachusetts, Washington, among others, and a growing list of states are suing the FCC. I love the icon they used for this. It's fantastic. Whoever made this little art piece did a great job. I wish I thought of it. I like it so much I may just steal it. On a side note, Pai continues to spread his misinformation campaign even after the repeal. In an appearance on Fox News, what a surprise, he said on Friday, "Those who said the internet as we know is about to end have been proven wrong starting this morning. We have a free internet going forward." The editor wrote, "Every idiot knows the repeal didn't actually take effect on Thursday." I mean, that is misinformation. Like, this doesn't go through till Congress and the courts get a hold of it. But at&t knows most people don't know that. So he's like, "See, we repealed net neutrality and it's fine. The Internet Freedom Act worked." And all the people who sit there and watch Fox News are like, "That's good. I'm glad the Internet Freedom Act went through. It's about time we had more freedom on the internet, even though I don't use it. Let me get out my pain medication because I'm a crazy old bitch." With the new order, the FCC is stripping itself of powers to hold big telecom accountable, as the job now is being given to the Federal Trade Communication, which remains unwilling to take it up and considers itself a scapegoat for the FCC. While the FCC may have become toothless, as the FCC commissioner had called it, officials in more than a dozen states are trying to take the job of protecting net neutrality. Multiple state lawmakers and some senators considered the option of reversing net neutrality repeal. New York Attorney General Eric Schneiderman said he would lead a multi-state lawsuit against the commission to preserve the open internet protections. The lawsuits were actually expected since the FCC essentially bypassed the due process by completely ignoring the public comments process, which they did because it was not in their favor. What was it, like 80% of the people were against repealing net neutrality, and these cocksuckers were just like, "Okay, throw it out, who cares? We'll do what we want." I'm not saying everybody up there is wrong. Like, the two women who actually have some sense saw what was going on, and the men were just spineless goons for companies. After New York, according to reports, several other states have also pledged to join this lawsuit. California, Delaware, Hawaii, Illinois, Iowa, Kentucky, Maine, Maryland, North Carolina, Oregon, Mississippi, Massachusetts, Pennsylvania, Vermont, Virginia, and Washington. at&t really stepped in the pie now. Today, I'm announcing my intentions to file legal challenges to the FCC's decision to roll back net neutrality, along with attorney generals across the country. Washington State Attorney General Bob Ferguson said. Also, if you read a bit on, there's some lovely stuff here to give you an idea of backstory. A lot of people sit there and go, "The internet was fine before net neutrality. You're all fear-mongering, you're douchebags, blah, 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 you're sheeple, whatever." 2005, North Carolina ISP, Madison River Communications, blocked VoIP service Vonage. 2005, Comcast blocked or severely delayed traffic using BitTorrent file sharing protocols. The company even had the guts to deny this for months until evidence was presented by Associated Press. Then Comcast admitted, "You got us," and then they basically told everybody to go fuck themselves. 2007 and 2009, at&t forced Apple to block Skype because it didn't like the competition at the time. At the time, the carrier had exclusive rights to sell the iPhone, and even then, the net neutrality advocates were pushing the government to protect online consumers over 5 years before these rules were actually passed. 2009, Google Voice app faced similar issues from ISPs, including at&t on the iPhone. What a surprise. at&t being douchebags again? You don't mean the same at&t that filed a frivolous lawsuit to try and stop Google Fiber from coming to areas that at&t had because they didn't like the competition. Not that at&t. Surely, with motherfucking net neutrality repealed, at&t will stop being douchebags, and so will Comcast, right? I mean, if we just let Hitler do what he wanted, I'm sure he would have stopped doing those bad things. 2010, Windstream Communications, a DSL provider, started hijacking search results made using Google Toolbar. It consistently redirected users to Windstream's own search engine and results. Oh my God, imagine that. That's like trying to use Google and being forced to use Bing. 2011, Metro PCS, a really shit company if you don't know. One of the top 5 wireless carriers at the time announced plans to block streaming services over its 4G network from everyone except YouTube. Wow. Now, we don't need net neutrality. 2011 to 2013, at&t and T-Mobile and Verizon blocking Google Wallet in favor of ISIS, a mobile payment system in which all three had shares. Verizon even asked Google to not include its payment app in the Nexus device. This one I remember, simply because of the name ISIS. Obviously, this was before ISIS was a thing, the terrorist group. Oh, I forgot all about that one. That was one of my favorites in the terms of funny, shillish, pieces of shit moves. We don't need net neutrality, Gundam, you fucking SJW. 2012, at&t blocked FaceTime again because the company didn't like the competition. 2012, Verizon started blocking people from using tethering apps on their phones that enable consumers to avoid the company's $20 tethering fee. Oh, you naughty consumers, how dare you? How dare you not let us make you pay us more for stuff you've already paid us for, you fuckers? Ferraris don't grow on trees for our CEOs, you know. 2014, at&t announced a new sponsored data scheme offering content creators a way to buy their way around the data caps that at&t imposed on its subscribers. Oh my fuck, dude. Jesus Christ. 2014, more recent times. Netflix started paying Verizon and Comcast to improve streaming service for consumers. This one we all know because this created a huge uproar. It really fucked with Netflix and chill. And the average yuppie was really into Netflix and chill. Even though, believe it or not, I invented Netflix and chill. And I can prove it at another time. 2014, T-Mobile was accused of using data caps to manipulate online competition. And the list goes on. Like, this doesn't even have Comcast and at&t teaming up to pretty much put a halt to Google Fiber as much as they could. They went out of their way to make sure that Google Fiber couldn't use poles that they had access to or owned. They fought like hell in Louisiana for that. Tooth and nail to stall it for as long as possible. I went looking on Verizon today because I know Google Fiber was offering like 1 gigabit or whatever the fuck they call it of internet speed up and download for like under $100. And before, when they first announced it like a year or two ago, my mind was blown because Verizon wanted $300 for that. If you sign to Verizon now with their HBO TV plan and phone bullshit, you can get it for $99 for a year. But after that, I think it jumps up to like $200 or some shit. So yeah, net neutrality. We really needed it repealed because obviously there was nothing wrong beforehand. There was absolutely nothing wrong. So there you go. Just a little tidbit of something to pop off because I figured it was funny. Perfect timing. I hope the FCC gets sued hardcore and Ajit loses his job. Oh well, I thought this was funny to just let you all know about. You don't have to rate, comment, subscribe this garbage because that's exactly what it is. It's nothing more than a little bit of information at a time where everybody's too busy being at each other's throats to realize who the real enemy is. So you may as well pick on your neighbor. You can at least get your hands around their neck, right? Or their e-neck. And on that note, I'm out of here. Adios, muchachos.